Hey people, Indra here, 1v1, Doom of Tularis, blue side. The Herald is a plague champion, starts off with a damage over time bolt gun, can get melee weapons, some strong utility and support, can also repair. Up against on the red side is arthurcloud as an apothecary, support hero fighting in melee combat by default, begins with a heal, a passive health regeneration aura. Looks like the Lunar Wolves elite scheme Crusade Heresy era type thing going on. We have a natural victory point here for arthurcloud in the southwest, natural in the northeast for the Herald, and a contested victory point in the mid. Plague champion goes for it, grabs it. Scouts against heretics. Scouts need to run, they don't have their shotguns. And tax on a contested power west side with that fast capping trait alongside the plague champion. Might run into those CSM. CSM did not have a queued order though. Attention was on the heretics, I suppose. Yeah, they're just going to be harassed if they try to cap anything. Could do a lot of annoying stuff here with the scouts arthurcloud if they can keep their micro up in two different areas. Scouts taking a natural. Here come the Chaos Space Marines. Taking some free shots there. The apothecary should have been behind cover maybe if he was standing around. Doesn't heal himself. I guess they already did. Their energy's low. Must have already healed themselves. Attacks are now going to be tied up in melee and shot by the plague champion. Probably... oh, there's the Kraken bolts. Gives them 20% more damage. Used it a bit late. And they're going to drop a model if they're not careful. Down goes one tack. He maybe thought that these scout bolters would help them out there getting a model down quicker, but didn't turn out to be the case. Heretics are continuing to get harassed on the east side. They haven't dropped a model though. Only one fella's firing, that's why. Oh, they weren't targeted properly. Here comes the aspiring champion. He is a Chaos Marine with bolt pistol and chainsword. Increased the health of the other models. I forget by how much though. Is it a 20% increase or something? And their Doom Blast scales off how much health they have. So it helps out with Doom Blast damage. Back to the southwest. Natural victory point of arthurcloud turns blue thanks to some Chaos Space Marines. And they have to flee. With their white power armor kind of blending in with the snow here. Cool map. I don't think I have casted it before. Not even sure I've seen it before. But it's pretty awesome. One of Swift's joints, I think. Devastator Marines on the field with a heavy bolter. Sending the Herald packing. And what have they spent power on? Just the aspiring champion? Yes. So we might see Raptors to help combat the Devastators, or maybe they'll just get double CSM and work around them. I don't think so. Yeah, Raptors on the way. They would have got the CSM up already if that was their plan, I think. We do have extra scouts though, of course, for arthurcloud. Sergeant was up for a second there, didn't got cancelled. So we might see shotguns in play once the Raptors are revealed. Or maybe just Sanguine Chainsword Apothecary to get in there. Devastators, oh, they're just bashing gens. Heavy cover, this stuff. It's like volcanic rock. CSM did not fully heal up. I don't think the heretics are going to worship though. They're going to get into melee. They're going to try to. Great special attack from the apothecary. Devastators are going to set up and they're going to mess up those heretics. Raptors are going to jump here. Oh, they're following the plague champion. Must have had their rally point on the plague champion. There's the jump. Oh, but it wasn't a good jump. Actually got suppressed. Couldn't make it all the way to the Devastators. The Devastators did drop a model to the CSM, who had clear shots with the heretics taking the hits and the suppression. CSM also have Eternal War. 20% more damage in melee and ranged combat. Raptors almost finished the devs. They're going for the kill with the jump. Do they have enough? They do not. Scouts helping out, but no shotguns in power. Got shotguns up on those guys. Nothing on these fellas, but they are going to get a triple cap here, arthurcloud. Kept the Herald very focused on this natural power. Able to grab basically the entirety of the map. The Herald has this wreck point and the power point, and that is it now. That's what scouts can do for you. See that health regen aura on the apothecary, that green hexagon there. Shotgun scouts helping to bash. Trying to get that node down. We now have a plague sword, plague champion, which is an odd one for me. Against double scouts and devs, they go for the Plague Sword. Typically, you'd see this purchased against an Assault Squad maybe, or perhaps double Tactical Marines, but doesn't intrinsically give him a way to deal with the devs. I guess the Raptors could jump the Devastators, and the Plague Champion come in and threaten pretty much anything else. Apothecary, though, with a Sanguine Chainsword. Here's the jump to try and finish him. It was well placed, and it was executed well. Apothecary falls. A double sync kill with 2 models there. That was awesome. Don't see that very often. I think I can remember seeing it in a replay 2 other times ever. But obviously I don't catch everything. Some might say I don't catch everything, you guys. Weird. Scout squad with their bolt guns of doom. Just lightly tickling those heretics. What is the DPS on these things? I always forget. Is it single digits? I would hope those fellas have bolt guns in the double digits of DPS. I believe the Tactical Marines are 13.29, aren't they? So they might be single digits. High single digits, I would hope. Raptors taking that central victory point. Plague Champion with that awesome Plague Sword, a power weapon that ignores melee resistance, gives us some more hit points, and creates zombies if you can kill some up. It won't create a Apothecary zombie though. Was arthurcloud repurchased with Requisition or with Red? Must have been Requisition. Oh, Plague Champion's down. Didn't take long. Took my eyes off him for a second and he's fallen over. Raptors in amongst the devs. Shotgun scouts. Oh, did they shotgun blast too early? Because the Raptors, like most jump troops, get a few seconds of knockback immunity once they jump, just to help them get their jump animation off. So they get it for a couple of seconds after they land, and if you try to do a knockback ability after they land too quickly, you won't knock them over. They just killed those devs, as you saw. That's kind of sloppy from arthurcloud losing those fellas. Should just got them hell out of there. I would have at least run attacks into melee to try and punish them and retreat a bit more, maybe. But they get away without a model loss. Killed the devs. Plague Champion's back to his feet. Repurchased. arthurcloud gets the tier 2 first. What are these heretics up to? Oh, they're at base. I thought the scouts... Oh, scouts killed a bunch. Must have grenaded some here. And they are now shooting down the eastern contested power. Is it more worthwhile to get that rec point rolling for you? Maybe. That's kind of debatable. Shooting down the power, stealing it from your enemy. Also valuable. These raptors are almost half health. arthurcloud out of position. Now, I'm not sure what their plan was to deal with raptors and a melee Plague Champion there. Is there purification rights? No purification. To get the knockback or something. Which has some good anti-melee uses to help your units out. Scouts continue to very slowly bash this power. I think they should have grabbed the rec point, I'm thinking. Grab the rec point, queue up a order to shoot down the gen after, or the node rather. Contested power on the west, turning blue for chaos. Okay, shotgun scouts are in play, so they have a way to get around the raptors, and Apothecary is putting good pressure on the Plague Champion. Chaos Space Marines are level 2. Raptors going in on the Plague Champion, but they run into shotgun scouts and decide to leave it. Tax could have popped their Kraken bolts there too. The scouts being around to make such a big difference in these fights. Sloppy there from the Herald to isolate his Plague Champion and get him forced off early. But they got some capping done, I guess. Scouts are now decapping that power and decapping the central victory point. arthurcloud does not have his own VP at the moment, but they're grabbing that contested one. And what they do have is a bloody dreadnought. Starts off as a full-on close combat walker for the Space Marines. 100 heavy melee DPS with a 40 splash on hit, with a cool wrist-mounted flamer too. And some Devastators up for arthurcloud afterwards. Plague Marines for the Herald. Maybe they can hear it stomping around or something. Or maybe they just want some Plague Marines. Who doesn't? Level 2 Apothecary here. Plague Champion is almost level 2. And we have improved medical equipment for the Apothecary. Gives him some energy regen. He's only thrown out the heal though, right? I guess. And a bump of energy as well. 100 energy and energy regen. Maybe they're looking to get advanced healing up, or armor of purity or something. Something that would warrant investing in that extra energy. Here come the Plague Marines. Tough fellas with high health regen and high health. And a snaring missile launcher, not to mention some damage over time bolt guns. Because, you know, Nurgle stuff. Typically, by themselves, not enough to deal with a walker. They have to get quite a lot of shots to get it down. But they are slowing it. Arthurcloud luring stuff back into the devs. Plague Champion taking a bunch of damage. Raptors get the jump right into the Dreadnought though. You see that inspiration on kill going off. 367 to 225 on the VPs. The Herald kind of ran into this one. Dreadnought should do some good work here and they should be able to get his gens down. All of them put the Dreadnought on ranged stance and they'll use the hand flamer or wrist flamer, whatever it is. What is the technical name for that thing? It must have some kind of Warhammer 40k grimdark name. Well, just melee them down, sure. It'll work too. Does he get inspiration of generator kills? Yes! Very inspired by the generator going down. It's chaotic filth. It was making them ill just to look at it. Whirlwind on the way now for Arthurcloud. Double Plague Marines for the Herald. Not the most cost-efficient way to deal with the Dreadnought, but they will do some good work for you when the Dreadnought's down, assuming you can get it down by just being annoying, being tough, capping things, tying things up in melee. Raptors could get an aspiring champion with a heavy melee maul, but they don't really want to fight that thing in melee. You'll have melee resistance, bucket hit points of course, and do lots of damage. Look at the Plague Marines though. Got it down to half with the bolt guns just helping out a little bit. Vehicle armor with very high resistance to piercing weapons such as bolt guns. Here's the Whirlwind though. That'll help. Should have just got Assault Marines up, I think. I think. Could just jump the Plague Marines, get support from the Apothecary. Jump the CSM as well. I think Assault Marines were the standard choice here, but Whirlwind's doing some good work. Disrupting stuff from long range. Arthurcloud's not happy about something. Oh, Apothecary's fallen down. Oh, chased into base. Forgot about him, or maybe they didn't respond to a retreat order or something. Scouts, meanwhile, taking the Herald's natural victory point. Raptors jumping in. Scare them off. Plague Champion still with no other war gear level 2. Whirlwind needs to be careful of those Plague Marines, of course. There's now 2 of them up. I'm not sure if Arthurcloud knows that there's 2 up. Mark of Zinch CSM now. I think Assault Marines are still the right shout here. Rather than go tier 3. Get Assault Marines up. Look how red the map is though. Those scouts are doing some capping work, eh? Can they disrupt the right model? They can't. That's the reliability of the Whirlwind, letting down Arthurcloud there. Just not an accurate thing. Still can't disrupt that one model who's capping. Uh-oh. Noxious Cloud. Gets pretty close to wiping those devs, and if that thing was moving in time, it might have done it. Oh, here comes a drop pod with more tactical marines. Okay, they got more marines up. Just not assault marines. 276 to 219. Plague Marines are chasing. Needs to keep moving this thing. Ouch. It can't fire while it's moving, but it does need to keep moving. The thing is, Plague Marines and the Plague Champion function very well under suppression, so they could chase into base. They still fire at the same rate when suppressed, and they don't get slowed down as much. I think they only get slowed down 30% rather than 60%, which is pretty cool. 276 to 199, 2-to-1 cap for the Herald. But I don't think it's going to stay that way. Arthurcloud's going to get on a central VP at least, and they could send some scouts dashing for that VP. Raptors might jump them, but they could get a shotgun surprise as well. Maybe even a cheeky grenade. You have one squad with a sergeant, one squad with shotgun. There's a grenade. They jump out of it. Made them use their energy, at least, I guess. They have a 60 energy jump, I believe. It used to be 65, but I think it's 60 now. Assault squad have a 55 energy jump. And some plasma attacks here for arthurcloud. Where were the other fellas? Can't see them on the roster. Oh, they're both plasma attacks, okay. One of them's level 2. They should be able to trade quite well with the Marco Zinch CSM. Don't have their aspiring champion either. 2v1 they should trade well. Especially with Apothecary support and a Dreadnought. Walking them down, perhaps. Whirlwind. Hey, Whirlwind did a good shot there. 257-186. arthurcloud sits on the 2-to-1 cap. Raptors capping up the east side. I think it's worth the Raptors getting their heavy melee weapon now, so they could jump the rear armor of the Whirlwind from a flank and take it out. See those Plague Marines exploding on death? They heal nearby allies, knock back and damage enemies when they explode. They don't heal themselves though. Chosen Plague Marines do, but regular Plague Marines don't. I can't remember actually if that was an elite mod change or if that was something that was changed in retail. I think it's an elite mod change. Plague Marines were very, very, very annoying in retail. They've been changed a hell of a lot since then. 227-186. Raptors couldn't quite get a model off those scout fellas. Plague Champion hanging out, and these tacks should not be this idle, I don't think. They're capping the power. I mean, arthurcloud does have a lot of units to keep track of now. And micro and deal with. We have a Mark of Zinch Chaos Dreadnought. This is the anti-vehicle variant with a missile launcher on it. Does have a frenzied barrage to suppress infantry as well. That's mainly an anti-vehicle weapon. The Space Marine Dreadnought is to get into melee with it, and then they have to try and focus down the Plague Marines. Just try to eat. It might even be worth, you know, you shotgun those Marco Zinch fellas and then maybe even run your scouts into melee with them. Oh, the Apothecary's here to do that, okay. Now the Apothecary can tie up the Plague Marines, there we go. Well, one of them anyway. Dreadnought now taking big hits. Wasn't quite set up for that approach. If the Apothecary was around quicker, not sure what it was up to. Capping over here maybe? Maybe it was just coming out of base, I'm not sure. There's some repairs for the Dreadnought. That Marco Zinch for though, getting some big shots in. Now it stops, it can't stop, down it goes. Dreadnought is down. This thing does have a hunter-killer missile on it for anti-vehicle. I assume it's used it already. Oh, Apothecary goes down. He's got anointed power axe now. And a plasma pistol, which is fun. 203-186. That's a noxious cloud. And frenzied barrage suppresses it all. Raptors jumping in too. Scouts might wipe. Again, the Herald didn't move the noxious cloud quickly enough. You can control this thing. Doesn't move fast enough to catch or stay with retreating units, but it helps you get a few extra ticks of damage on if you're moving it. Level 3 Plague Champion. That Apothecary down. arthurcloud, there we go. Laraman's Blessing gets the Apothecary back into the field by just spending red. And throws out a heal for the scouts. Look how much energy he's got now. Just level 3 and 220 energy thanks to this improved medical equipment. Anointed Power Axe also drains energy and restores it to the Apothecary. Not sure what there isn't really a great target for that in terms of... Oh, the Raptors, of course. Try to get that on the Raptors and they can't jump around as often. Might get them in trouble. Plague Champion doesn't actually have any abilities to use energy on at the moment. But you're still getting it for the Apothecary kind of thing. Attacks with this... Oh, Sternguard Veterans up. With Vengeance rounds loaded in. This is anti-vehicle, anti-super heavy infantry round. So they're going to be wanting to shoot at the Dreadnought with it. What about the other fellows? Did they get a missile launcher? They did not get a missile launcher. Still no combat stims or anything. Oh, wow. Raptors getting absolutely destroyed as they run in. They're going to wipe, and they do wipe. They still have their Vengeance rounds loaded in. They should not have this. Well, it's not an efficient way to shoot at the Plague Champion, but they're going to get him anyway. Down he goes. They got the Whirlwind, but that was a sloppy approach from the Herald, dropping the Raptors like that. Apothecary getting a level, and his heal does get better as he levels up. Gonna go for that central VP now, I think. 203 for 160, or are they? Oh, the attacks are gonna do it. The Stern Guard are capping. They do keep the 50% faster capping trait. And now we have a las cannon. Very effective anti-vehicle weapon. Snares targets and deals a big chunk of damage. As you can see there, 165 armor piercing per hit. And look at that. Predator tank on the way for arthurcloud. Chosen Plague Marines up for the Herald, which is kind of a strange choice. I guess they're good to run into the Marines, but you'd expect them to want to get to tier 3 or something. Let's see how they do. They have a Predator tank to deal with. Did the Chaos Dread level up? Not quite. Las Cannon looking for the Dreadnought. There it is. They might not have vision on it yet. There we go, gets one shot. Plague Marine, chosen Plague Marines exploding on death. These guys are unique to the Plague Champion. They have power melee damage over time, Plague Knives. Very cool fellas. 2,000 hit points with a high health regen, and their explosion does heal themselves, unlike the other Plague Marines. You can also use Nurgle's Rot to create zombies. I think it also, doesn't Nurgle's Rot disable health regen as well or something like that? I believe that's the case. And these days, I always forget, they passively damage nearby enemies. They're a cool unit. Awesome addition to Elite mod, I think. 147 to 159. Can you do that in tabletop? Can you just outfit? Don't they start with Plague Knives? I think they just have Plague Knives. But is there a way to just outfit like melee Plague Marines? I don't think there is. Only the Plague Champion can get the sword, I think. I'm pretty sure they have some kind of Plague Knife thing. Here's your Predator tank. Gone for the las cannon, which is anti-vehicle. Twin-linked. For extra las cannon, isn't it? 129 to 159. VPs are very, very close. Arthurcloud certainly has capping power. Need to spread out. Yeah. Keep stuff on both sides of the map. Scouts can harass the hell out of this side. I'd say send both of the scouts to this east side to harass and cap and keep things occupied. The rest of the army can take mid and west. Got a lot of capping power with the Stern Guard and attacks here. I guess they want the scouts near the tank though for repairs. Apothecary taking hits in the mid. Gets a decap though. 129, 153. There's those chosen Plague Marines though. These guys don't have a melee charge. So they're quite slow. But once they get in there, they're going to do some work for you. Have that same trait as regular Plague Marines where they operate quite well under suppression, taking a lot of damage as they get close though. 129 to 153. Just walked past the heavy bolter devastators. Got in on the las cannon. Everything's getting suppressed. Plague Marines don't care that much, but I don't think they were close enough to shoot the tank there. And the Chaos Dread might go down. The tank should be chasing it. I don't think Arthurcloud realized how low they got that Dreadnought there. The Predator is moving up. Plague Champion just got revived. The Apothecary, though, it's probably another Laramans, right? Unless they want those Terminators up, I guess. 129 to 53. That was a rear armor hit, one of those. You've got to keep the Plague Marines moving. Once they shoot, you've got to instantly move them, kind of like snipers, to wait for the rocket launcher cooldown, which is about 5 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds. Oh, one more shot would have done it. They would have taken a lot of damage getting close though, thanks to this heavy bolter. And the tax, of course. These guys using their Kraken bolts, they should actually be using Hellfire rounds against Plague Marines because they are regular infantry, not heavy infantry. So you would get the Hellfire damage over time effect against them. Predator lives. Needs some repairs pretty badly, but it lives. Look how red the map is though. Yeah, scouts operating quite well on the east side. Looks like one of them is enough to get some good work done over there. Chosen Plague Marine scaring them off. I need to cap though, fellas. Are you going to cap, fellas? Guys? Nope. They're just stinking up the place. That's kind of runs away for some reason. I wonder if that was a misclick or he just wants to heal it up. But the carry's still down. What is ArthurCloud up to? They must be waiting for Terminators. But I think they can use Laramans and still have enough for Terminators now. Isn't Laramans 125 or is it... I mean, even if it's 150, you still have enough. I don't think it's 175. Frenzied Barrage and a dead Stoneguard veteran there. Plague Champion was coming in, now has the Armor of Pestilence. Plus 500 hit points. Used to be plus 600. I don't know what it was nerfed. It was meant to be an adjustment. It was meant to cost less power and give him less health, but it just costs the same and gives him less health. I'm not happy with it. But people still seem to be using it, even though they get 100 less health. 81, 142. Chaos Dreadnought still hasn't leveled. They are stacking up on the VP now. I guess they need to. They're behind on VPs. Looks like scouts are going northeast again. Something is sitting on that VP though. Is it just the Plague Marines? I think it's just the Plague Marines sitting on it. Plague Champion gets in, creates some zombies. You don't get a heavy bolter on yours. He retreated the zombie. Awesome. They got a decap. They did get a decap. That zombie just explodes there. And that does count as a unit lost on the scorecard at the end, I believe. Uh-oh. Tank's got the Dreadnought. Done. There's no way it's going to get away now. Should not have pushed a Dreadnought that far. As simple as that. Oh, hey. Scouts be dead. That was a very athletic sync kill for a Plague Marine, I feel like. The Herald down to 4 units. ArthurCloud with many, many more units. Certainly has the numbers here. But can they face down all these Plague Marines? There's so much plague going on. Chosen Plague Marines knocked back and suppressing. Never got the Aspiring Champion for the CSM. Level 3. Oh, there's touch of Nurgle on the Chosen Plague Marines there. That's a big waste, actually. A big waste. They used it when they were just fighting an Apothecary. That would have had big Nurgly explosions if they'd have died. That's a global ability of the Plague Champion. It's not cheap, so that was a kind of a big oof. Didn't get anything out of that touch of Nurgle. 58 to 90. Plague Marine trying to use their durability to cap, but taking a lot of damage. Taking a lot of damage. Stoneguard still using their Kraken bolts. Good against the CSM, but not actually what you want to use against these Plague Marines here. ArthurCloud fights them. Fights them out. Need to get on this. The scout should be on this. Tack should be capping that. Scout should be on that VP, surely. No. Does not want the quick cap. There's a heal thrown in. Don't think he actually healed them that much because they've only got 2 models. I think those scouts could have got a decap there. 53 to 90. Now they're repairing the tank again. Down goes the Plague Champion. Chosen Plague Marines now trying to cap, or rather decap. There we go, they got a decap. The Herald now backs off, having got the decap. Gonna draw ArthurCloud back onto the VP, I guess. I think Arthur should push this. Keep the tank here. Move up with your devs and everything else. One day this will end, says the Herald. Look at this float from ArthurCloud. They did not get Terminators up, by the way. Don't have the population to get them now. Level 6 Apothecary. Plague Marines exploding. Healed the other Plague Marines, but not themselves. And those CSM, of course. I wonder, can you heal other Plague Marines with it? Or are they just immune to that death explosion? 29 to 90. The Herald just can't build up resources to get anything else on the field here. There's that shotgun blast doing some work. For Nurgle, says the Herald. There's touch of Nurgle again. There's that big touch of Nurgle explosion. And Nurgle's Rot. The first time I've seen Nurgle's Rot being used, actually. They've soaked up a huge amount of damage there, those fellas. They are stopping the cap at 12. Now the attacks need to get on that. And something should be decapping this, I think. What is this now? Terminators? It is Terminators. They get those big fat pauldrons with this elite scheme, which is quite fun. Who's even capping right now? Apothecary? Oh, Apothecary's doing it. Big champion's still down. Which does give you a little bit of vision when your hero's down. Now they've got some Storm Bolters and Power Fists to deal with. And there's a drop pod to reinforce off. I think they should just send these Terminators into melee. Oh, I guess I don't need to. I was going to say send them into melee with the CSM, but they're getting suppressed anyway. And there's the game. arthurcloud wins it. Stacked up on the mid there. Could have put more pressure on his Viper, I guess, but they wanted to play it safe. Big Champion was level 4. Apothecary, level 7 with that mean axe, and did have Armor of Purity at the end. There you have it, guys. Cool map. Fun game. Thank you for watching. Lots of Nurgle stuff going on. And I'll see you next time.